Who did Patrick's homework? Patrick never did homework. Too boring, he said. He played hockey and basketball and Nintendo instead. His teachers told him, Patrick, do your homework or you won't learn a thing. And it's true, sometimes he did feel like an ignoramus. But what could he do? He hated homework. Then one day he found his cat playing with a little doll and he grabbed it away. To his surprise, it wasn't a doll at all, but a man of the tiniest size. He had a little wool shirt with old fashioned breeches and a high tall hat, much like a witch's. He yelled, Save me! Don't give me back to that cat. I'll grant you a wish. I promise you that. Patrick could not believe how lucky he was. Here was the answer to all his problems. So he said, Only if you do all my homework till the end of the semester. That's 35 days. If you do a good enough job, I could even get A's. The little man's face wrinkled like a dishcloth thrown in the hamper. He kicked his legs and doubled his fists, and he grimaced and scowled and pursed his lips. Oh, am I cursed? But I will do it. And true to his word, that little elf began to do Patrick's homework. Except there was one glitch. The elf did not always know what to do, and he needed help. Help me, he would say, and Patrick would have to help in whatever way. I don't know this word, the elf squeaked while reading Patrick's homework. Get me a dictionary. No, what's even better, look up the word and sound it out by each letter. When it came to maths, Patrick was out of luck. What are times tables? The elf shrieked. We elves never need that. And addition and subtraction and division and fractions. Here, sit down beside me. You simply must guide me. Elves know nothing of human history. To them, it's a mystery. So the little elf, already a shouter, just got louder. Go to the library. I need books, more and more books, and you can help me read them too. As a matter of fact, every day in every way, that little elf was a nag. Patrick was working harder than ever and was a dead rag. He was staying up nights, had never felt so weary, was going to school with his eyes puffed and bleary. Finally, the last day of school arrived, and the elf was free to go. As for homework, there was no more, so he quietly and slyly slipped out the back door. Patrick got his A's. His classmates were amazed. His teachers smiled and were full of praise. And his parents, they wondered what had happened to Patrick. He was now the model kid, cleaned his room, did his chores, was cheerful, never rude, like he had developed a whole new attitude. You see, in the end, Patrick still thought he would made that tiny man do all his homework. But I'll share a secret. Just between you and me, it wasn't the elf. Patrick had done it himself. Carol Moore. Students, did you listen to the story? Now let's summarize it. There was a boy named Patrick. He hated doing homework. He found it boring. He was interested in playing games. He played hockey, basketball, and Nintendo. His teachers warned him that he must do homework. Otherwise, he would remain an ignorant person. Sometimes he really felt that he was ignorant. But somehow Patrick could not help it. One day, Patrick found his cat playing with a little doll. He took the doll away. To his surprise, he found that the doll was in fact a little man. This man wore old fashioned breeches. His hat was tall like a witch's. That little man cried, Save me. In return, he promised to grant Patrick a wish. Patrick saved the little man. He was much pleased. He asked the little man to do all his homework till the end of the semester. That way he could get A's. The little man did not like it, yet he agreed to do so. He began his work. However, there was one difficulty. Very often, he needed Patrick's help in doing the homework. Sometimes the elf could ask for a dictionary. He would request Patrick to look up a word and speak its spellings loudly. When it came to math, It was even worse. The elf did not know much about it. So Patrick had to sit beside him, guide him all the time. It was the same thing with history. Patrick had to go to the library, get the books, and read them out to the elf. Then the elf would write these points in his homework book. Patrick had to do much hard work. Finally, the last day of school arrived and the elf was free to go. The homework had been completed. Patrick got his Ace. His classmates were amazed, his teachers smiled, his parents wondered how their son had become such a model kid. Patrick had indeed developed a whole new attitude. Patrick was in the impression that the elf had done his homework, but the truth is that he himself did his homework.